Once upon a time, in a cozy bedroom softly lit by the moon's gentle glow, Stella sat on her wheelchair, clad in a soft nightgown. Her husband, Remy, stood before her, his face etched with frustration, wearing pajamas that seemed too tight for his tense demeanor. "Why?" Remy's voice rang out, sharp with anger. "Tell me why you're holding on to it. You've been in this state for 2 months now, and I've been the one taking care of you. I've never complained. But this one thing I asked of you is impossible for you to do. How do you think it makes me feel or look, sitting back while strangers run the company?" Stella tried to calm him down. "Babe, please stop being angry. You know I'm not holding back to deny you or make you feel bad. You need to understand." Remy interrupted her, his tone softening momentarily. "I don't understand anymore. I'm tired of these excuses. What's so difficult about letting your husband, the man you vowed to become one with, take care of things while you recover?" He squatted before her, holding her hands gently. "Babe, you need to understand how weak and incompetent it makes me look, sitting back while outsiders run my wife's business. No one can take care of family like family. Please, understand that we must protect what's ours and strengthen our family's image." Stella nodded, trying to convey her understanding. "I get what you're saying, babe. But I need to." Remy cut her off, frustration bubbling up again. "But what again? Must there always be a but?" "Fine, do what you wish. Just don't forget there's a limit to what one can take." With that, Remy stormed out of the room, leaving Stella calling after him, pleading for him to come back and help her onto the bed. The next day, Stella sat in her sitting room with her friend Uche, both of them deep in conversation. Stella's face was serious as she voiced her concerns. "Why can't I do that?" Stella pondered aloud. "He has a point. Why should he be sidelined while others run my business? It doesn't look good for him." Uche, always the voice of reason, responded thoughtfully. "Stella, before I became your legal advisor, we've been friends for years. Doing what he's asking for isn't in your best interest. It could have devastating effects in the future." Stella sighed, feeling the weight of her crumbling marriage. "But what could be worse than what's happening now? It's tearing us apart." Uche suggested a compromise. "Offer him a position, somewhere high up. Don't relinquish your control just yet." Days turned into weeks, and the tension between Stella and Remy only grew. Late one night, as they lay in bed, Stella tried to initiate intimacy, but Remy rebuffed her, his frustration evident. "Honey, for how long are you going to let this tear us apart?" Stella pleaded. Remy turned to face her, his expression hardening. "For as long as it takes for you to understand that leaving our business in the hands of strangers doesn't just put it at risk, but it makes me look weak and irresponsible." Stella offered a solution, hoping to appease him. "Then take the position I offered, my love. You'll be close to monitor things." Remy scoffed at her suggestion. "Take a position under others. In our family's business? No, thank you." The next day, outside of Stella's compound, Remy and Irene sat in a car, their conversation tinged with deceit and desperation. "Babe, I'm tired of waiting," Irene confessed. "For how long do I have to watch you sleep beside another woman every night?" Remy sighed, feeling the weight of their secret. "I understand, but we can't rush this. We need to be careful." Irene pressed on, her desire for revenge palpable. We have to finish her off. We can't let her leave. Remy shook his head, trying to reassure her. No, we can't do that. But I have a plan. She'll give in eventually. Back in Stella's home, a new caregiver named Chris arrived, much to Stella's dismay. She resisted his help, feeling her husband slipping further away. Why are you doing this? Stella asked Remy, her voice trembling with emotion. Why are you tormenting me like this? Remy knelt before her, his own heart heavy with conflict. No, my love. I'm not doing this to torment you. I'm doing what I must for us. As days passed, Stella felt herself sinking deeper into despair. She resisted the help of the caregiver, feeling her husband's presence slipping away with each passing day. Why are you pushing me away? Stella cried, her heart breaking. Remy tried to reassure her, but his words felt hollow. I'm doing this for us, my love. Please understand. In the end, Stella found herself torn between her love for Remy and the crumbling remnants of their marriage. She held on, hoping for a miracle to mend their fractured relationship, but deep down, she knew that some wounds run too deep to heal. And so he left her. Inside her room, Irene gazed at Remy with a mix of anxiety and longing, her words laden with uncertainty. But not to worry. She already has her back against that wall. She's a sitting duck now. I hope so. What about the pregnancy suspicion? Have you confirmed it? Irene inquired, her worry palpable. Remy's response was calm but calculated. She is not pregnant. The pills I fed her delayed her period, and she assumed she is pregnant. You know how desperate she is to have a child. Their conversation brimmed with tension, emotions bubbling beneath the surface. Irene poured out her fears to Remy, her distress evident. Babe, please hasten things. Having to torment myself with the thought of what you could be doing with her every night is eating deep into my soul. Imagine discussing my man having sex with another woman and the possibility of getting her pregnant. Babe, it is tormenting. Remy's reassurances were tender, his gesture soothing. But you know that particular woman means nothing to me, and whatever I do with her is for our general good. You are the woman I love, and nothing is ever going to change that. And when this is over, I will make up for the lost time in a million ways. Come here, my love. As Irene nestled into Remy's embrace, a sense of unease lingered, shadows dancing in the corners of their minds. In Stella's sitting room, a poignant scene unfolded. Stella, confined to a wheelchair, struggled to reach the TV remote. Chris, standing nearby, watched with a heavy heart as Stella grappled with her limitations. Remy entered, his concern evident as he observed Stella's struggle. Oh dear, wait. Let me get that for you. Addressing Chris, Remy questioned, but why are you stressing yourself doing that? Where is Chris? Chris's response was tinged with disappointment. I am here, sir. She wouldn't let me help. She warned me never to come close to her. Remy intervened, his voice gentle but firm. Come on, honey. Chris is here to assist you when I am not around. I thought we've discussed and agreed on this already. Stella's resistance was palpable, her desperation evident. I don't want any assistance from anyone but you, babe. I don't even want him in this house. It should be you and like we used to be. Let him go. As Chris retreated, Remy bent before Stella, his touch tender as he sought to comfort her. My love, you know I can't possibly leave you all alone without care. And due to how things are now, I can no longer come in at intervals to check on you like I used to do. Please allow Chris to do the job while I am away. And once I come back, it will just be you and I like you want it. Stella's anguish spilled forth, her words laden with longing. Why must you be gone, my love? Why can't we be like we used to? Why must we let this disagreement tear us apart? Remy, I am not fine. I miss you. I miss the man who's made my life beautiful. How am I supposed to make do with a stranger while my heart constantly thinks about you? Honey, please. Remy's promises were a balm to Stella's troubled heart, his love unwavering in the face of adversity. In Stella's bedroom, a tender moment unfolded between husband and wife. Stella knelt on the floor, her hands gripping the edge of the bed as she struggled to climb onto it. Chris watched with a mixture of concern and frustration, his attempts to assist met with resistance. "Ma, please permit me to help you. You will hurt yourself if you continue doing this," Chris pleaded, his voice laced with worry. Ignoring his pleas, Stella persisted in her struggle, her determination unyielding. Chris, unable to bear witness to her suffering any longer, intervened forcefully, helping her onto the bed despite her protest. Stella's confusion was evident as Chris's harsh words pierced the silence. "What is this? Why did you touch me without?" Chris's anger flared, his frustration bubbling to the surface. "Then sack me already so you can do whatever you wish without tormenting me with the sight." As Chris stormed out, Stella was left reeling, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. In Stella's sitting room, a tense confrontation unfolded between Stella and her legal advisor, Uche. As Uche voiced her concerns about relinquishing power of attorney, Stella remained resolute in her decision, her trust in Remy unwavering. "And that someone here is my husband. Someone I trust with my life. So, this is what I've decided to do," Stella declared, her conviction unshakable. Uche's apprehension was palpable, her doubts lingering in the air as she reluctantly prepared the documents. In the sanctuary of Stella's bedroom, Remy and Stella shared a moment of intimacy, their love a beacon in the darkness. Yet, beneath the surface, doubt simmered, shadows lurking in the corners of their minds. "You are joking, right? You are pulling my legs," Remy exclaimed, his excitement palpable as Stella revealed her decision. Stella's words were a mixture of regret and longing. "No, I am not. Uche is preparing the documents already. I am dead serious." As Remy's joy overflowed, Stella's doubts resurfaced, her insecurities threatening to shatter the fragile facade they had constructed. On Stella's balcony, Remy's conversation with an unseen figure hinted at hidden agendas and deceit. Chris, lurking in the shadows, overheard Remy's words, his suspicions confirmed. Their fragile facade threatened to crumble as secrets were laid bare, trust eroded by the weight of deception. In Stella's bedroom, Stella sat alone, her hands trembling as she examined the documents before her. Chris entered, his apology a fragile attempt to mend the rift between them. As Stella's doubts resurfaced, she grappled with the weight of her decision, uncertainty clouding her judgment. The fragile facade they had constructed threatened to crumble, their once unshakable bond tested by the erosion of trust and the revelation of hidden truths. In the darkness, a glimmer of hope remained, a chance for redemption amidst the chaos. But whether they could salvage what remained of their fractured facade remained uncertain. Stella sighed, flipping through the papers scattered across her desk. "But the documents for the POA are not ready yet," she murmured to her husband, Remy, frustration evident in her tone. Even if they were, you could delegate duties while handling the contract. Remy, however, had other concerns. I want to give the company my full attention, he insisted. I have my beautiful wife to impress. Stella's lips curved into a soft smile at his words. She's already impressed, my love, she assured him, her eyes warm with affection. Their conversation shifted to their absent friend, Uche, who was away for her uncle's burial. Any word from her? Remy inquired. Not yet, Stella replied, shaking her head. She said she'd get in touch as soon as she returns. Remy nodded, unperturbed by the delay. We're in no rush, he remarked casually. As they settled into their evening routine, Stella brought up an unexpected topic. Did you know that Chris has some expertise in physiotherapy? She asked, her curiosity piqued. Remy arched an eyebrow in surprise. Chris, he echoed. He told you that? Stella nodded, a hint of amusement in her eyes. Yes, and he seems to have some ideas about my injury. Remy, however, was quick to caution against Chris's involvement beyond his role as a caregiver. Let's not have him meddling where he shouldn't, he warned. We already have Dr. Mike handling your case. Stella chuckled softly. You're quick to judge, she teased. But I appreciate your concern. Their conversation soon drifted to lighter topics, and the tension in the room dissipated. Stella winced as Chris gently massaged her legs, his touch both soothing and firm. Ouch! Take it easy, she exclaimed, her discomfort evident. Chris offered an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, Mom, he said softly. But it's important to walk through the pain for your recovery. Despite the discomfort, Stella acknowledged a slight improvement. I do feel a bit better, she admitted, albeit cautiously. But I still can't move my legs. Chris remained optimistic, his voice filled with reassurance. Your progress is promising, he assured her. It just takes time. Their interaction revealed Chris's expertise and empathy, qualities that earned Stella's trust and gratitude. As days turned into weeks, Stella found herself drawn to Chris's knowledge and compassion. She began seeking his advice on various aspects of her recovery, from exercises to mental stimulation. Remy, initially skeptical of Chris's involvement, gradually softened his stance as he witnessed Stella's progress. He even brought home the Scrabble and chess board Stella requested, albeit with a hint of reluctance. Their home became a sanctuary of healing and camaraderie, with Chris at the center of Stella's recovery journey. Despite initial misunderstandings and skepticism, Stella and Chris formed a bond built on mutual respect and understanding. Stella and Chris sat on the couch, engrossed in a game of Scrabble. Despite Stella's initial hesitations, she found herself enjoying the challenge, her competitive spirit reignited. So you won 4 games in a row? Stella exclaimed, a mixture of surprise and amusement in her voice. Chris chuckled softly. Beginner's luck, perhaps, he replied modestly. But you're improving with each game. Their game revealed not only Chris's patience and encouragement but also Stella's resilience and determination. Stella and Chris's relationship blossomed beyond the confines of caregiver and patient. They shared moments of laughter, vulnerability, and mutual support, strengthening their bond with each passing day. As Stella's physical therapy progresses, she starts to confide in Chris about her fears and frustrations. Chris, in turn, shares snippets of his own past, revealing a painful family secret. He is the product of incest between his mother and her uncle, who he thought was his uncle all along. Shocked and empathetic, Stella listens as Chris recounts the trauma of discovering his true parentage and the subsequent fallout within his family. Despite the weight of his revelations, their bond deepens as Stella becomes determined to help Chris confront his past and find closure. Meanwhile, Remy's absence due to work commitments leaves Stella feeling lonely and vulnerable. Chris steps up to fill the void, providing not just physical care but also emotional support during her husband's absence. As Stella's recovery progresses, she becomes more determined to regain her independence. With Chris's encouragement, she pushes herself to overcome physical challenges, practicing walking with a walking stick and gradually regaining strength in her legs. However, as Stella's physical abilities improve, tensions arise between her and Remy. His controlling behavior and neglectful attitude towards her recovery become more apparent, leading Stella to question their relationship and her future with him. Meanwhile, Chris's own journey of healing reaches a turning point as he confronts his biological father, seeking closure and reconciliation. With Stella's unwavering support, Chris finds the strength to confront his past and let go of the pain and anger that has haunted him for years. In the final act, Stella and Chris emerge stronger and more resilient than ever. Stella confronts Remy about his neglect and ultimatum, asserting her independence and choosing to prioritize her own well-being over their marriage. With Chris by her side, Stella embarks on a new chapter of her life, reclaiming her agency and embracing the possibilities of the future. Together, they form a deep and meaningful connection forged through shared struggles and triumphs. As they look towards the horizon, Stella and Chris realize that while the road ahead may be uncertain, they have each other to lean on and a newfound sense of strength and resilience to guide them through whatever challenges may come their way. As days pass, Stella notices subtle changes in Remy's behavior. He becomes distant and secretive, often making excuses to leave the house for business trips. Meanwhile, Irene spends more time with Remy, raising suspicions in Stella's mind. One evening, Chris witnesses Remy and Irene sharing an intimate moment outside the house. Shocked and betrayed, Chris struggles with whether to reveal the truth to Stella. Unable to bear the burden of his discovery, Chris confides in Stella's close friend, Barrister Uche. Together, they devise a plan to confront Remy and Irene without causing further harm to Stella. Stella, unaware of her husband's infidelity, prepares a surprise for Remy's return from his latest trip. However, when Remy arrives home, Stella overhears a conversation between him and Irene, confirming her worst fears. Heartbroken and devastated, Stella confronts Remy and Irene, demanding answers. Remy, caught off guard, tries to deny the affair, but Stella refuses to accept his lies. With Chris and Barrister Uche's support, Stella gathers evidence of Remy's betrayal, preparing for a legal battle. As Stella navigates the painful process of divorce and betrayal, she finds solace in the support of her friends and Chris. Despite the betrayal, Stella refuses to let it define her. Chris, too, finds redemption as he confronts his own past and learns to forgive himself for his mistakes. Through his bond with Stella, Chris discovers a newfound sense of purpose and belonging. As days turned into weeks, Stella's gratitude towards Chris deepened into something more profound. She admired his unwavering dedication and his ability to find hope in even the bleakest of circumstances. Meanwhile, Stella's marriage to Remy, once a source of joy and stability, had begun to unravel. The accident had strained their relationship, revealing cracks that had long been hidden beneath the surface. Caught in a web of resentment and unspoken grievances, Stella found herself drifting further away from Remy, while Chris filled the void with his unwavering support. Though she tried to suppress her growing feelings for Chris, Stella couldn't deny the burgeoning attraction between them. Unbeknownst to Stella, Remy harbored his own secrets, and his sister Irene was a pawn in his sinister game. Together, they plotted to seize control of Stella's wealth and power, blinded by greed and fueled by a desire for revenge. As Stella's suspicions grew, she stumbled upon damning evidence of Remy and Irene's treachery. Shocked and betrayed, she confronted them, only to be met with denial and deceit. Refusing to be a pawn in their twisted game, Stella resolved to fight back, but her efforts were met with resistance at every turn. With Remy's grip tightening around her, Stella found herself trapped in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Desperate for a way out, Stella turned to Chris for help, revealing the depth of her feelings for him in a moment of vulnerability. Though conflicted by his own emotions, Chris vowed to stand by her side, determined to protect her at any cost. As tensions reached a boiling point, Remy's true intentions were laid bare. Fueled by jealousy and resentment, he resorted to desperate measures, poisoning the wine shared by Stella and Chris in a final, desperate bid to eliminate them both. As the poison took hold, Stella and Chris were consumed by agony, their bodies racked with pain as their lives hung in the balance. In their final moments, they clung to each other, their love transcending the cruelty of fate. As Stella and Chris breathed their last, their love endured, a poignant reminder of the power of love in the face of adversity. Though their journey ended in tragedy, their love would live on, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. In the aftermath of their deaths, the truth about Remy and Irene's deception came to light, exposing the depths of their depravity. Justice was served, but the scars left behind would never fully heal. The end.